Welcome to the Talk English Today. Today's story. Echoes of Tomorrow. The neon lights of Nexus pulsed like a heartbeat, illuminating the towering skyscrapers that dominated the skyline. This was a city of technology, where everything and everyone was connected to the grid. From the streets below to the ships soaring above, the city thrived on data, surveillance, and control. And in the heart of it all stood Kara, a hacker on a mission that could change everything. Kara had been part of the underground resistance for years, a network of rebels who had learned to navigate Nexus's digital landscape. But today her mission was different. Today she was going after the Elysium Key. The Elysium Key was a secret, a project the core, Nexus's authoritarian government, had been developing in the shadows. It promised to create a perfect digital utopia, one that could control every aspect of life in Nexus. If Kara could get her hands on it, she could expose the core for what it truly was, a regime that sought total control. Her contact, Echo, had provided her with intel on the key's location, a heavily secured vault within the core's central hub. Kara knew this was going to be her most dangerous job yet, but she had no choice. The city needed to know the truth. She walked the crowded streets, her augmented reality lenses feeding her a constant stream of data, scanning the environment for any potential threats. The core's surveillance drones hovered overhead, their infrared scanners sweeping the crowd, but Kara was invisible. She had a cloaking device built into her jacket, a lifesaver in a city that never slept. The access point was 2 blocks away, hidden in plain sight. Kara ducked into a side alley, activating the cloaking device and slipping through the crowds without a trace. Her heart raced, but she didn't falter. There was no room for error. As she approached the core's facility, the massive data tower loomed in front of her. The security was intense. Kara had been here before, scouting out the vulnerabilities in the system. She knew the blind spots, the weaknesses. Her wrist device buzzed once. She was close. She pressed a hidden button on the side of the building, and a small maintenance door slid open. The air inside the shaft was cool, thick with the scent of metal and dust. Kara slipped in, her boots silent against the floor, as she followed the familiar route toward the vault where the Elysium Key was stored. The vault was a fortress. Security was multi-layered, biometric scans, infrared motion sensors, and AI-driven algorithms that could detect the slightest anomaly. Kara knew how to handle it all. Her wrist device hummed with life as she bypassed each layer, her fingers working faster than her mind could process. The system tried to fight back, but Kara was always one step ahead. When the door to the vault finally slid open, Kara was almost relieved. But as she stepped inside, a low voice echoed from the walls. Unauthorized access detected. Security breach imminent. Kara froze. She had only moments before the system locked down completely. She darted forward, grabbing the Elysium Key, a small, unassuming chip encased in a transparent, energy-infused glass box. It pulsed softly in her hand, and Kara's pulse quickened in response. This was it. But then the system's voice broke the silence again. Lockdown in progress. All security units deployed. The lights flickered and alarms blared. Kara knew the plan had been compromised. She wasn't getting out the same way she came in. She ran, the heavy footsteps of core operatives echoing in the hallways behind her. She could hear the whir of drones as they patrolled the facility. The exit was blocked. Her only hope was the central elevator shaft. With no time to waste, Kara sprinted toward the elevator, her wrist device flashing warnings of imminent threats. She punched in the emergency override code just as the door slid open. But as she stepped inside, the elevator descended, and a familiar voice filled her earpiece. "You're running out of time, Kara. The core's security grid is coming back online. You won't be able to escape." It was Echo. He had been her ally, her trusted contact in the resistance. But now the truth was unfolding. Echo had been working for the core all along. "You don't know how this works, do you?" Echo's voice echoed in her ear, now cold and calculating. "The Elysium Key belongs to the core. I just needed you to get it for me. I'm going to the top." Kara's heart sank. She had trusted Echo, but now she saw his true colors. He was a pawn in the core's game just like everyone else. The elevator doors slid open to reveal Echo, standing in the shadows, a gun in hand. "Hand over the key," he said, a sneer on his face. "You've done your part. Now get out of the way." Kara's eyes narrowed. She wasn't about to let him take everything she'd worked for. She shifted her stance, preparing to fight. "I won't let you control it, Echo. Not after everything the core's done." Echo raised the gun, but Kara was faster. She tossed the Elysium key at him, causing him to flinch. In that split second she lunged, knocking the gun from his hand and forcing him back. They struggled, but Kara's resolve was unbreakable. With one final push, she sent Echo sprawling to the ground. She grabbed the device, disabled the security lock, and ran for the maintenance exit. But she could hear Echo rising behind her. His voice filled with fury. "You can't stop the future, Kara. You can't stop the core." Kara didn't look back. She burst through the exit, into the forgotten tunnels that lay beneath Nexus. The night air was cold, but it felt like freedom. She had the Elysium key. She had the truth. But Echo's words haunted her as she disappeared into the shadows. The fight for Nexus was just beginning. In the neon-lit city of Nexus, Kara, a skilled hacker, infiltrates the core's central hub to steal the Elysium key, a device that could expose the core's plans for total control over the city. With the help of her contact, Echo, she navigates through the city's surveillance-heavy streets, using her cloaking device to avoid detection. She accesses a hidden maintenance door, slipping into the core's underground vault, where the Elysium key is kept behind layers of high-tech security. After bypassing the vault's defenses with her wrist device, Kara retrieves the key, only to trigger an unexpected lockdown. Alarms blare, and the building's systems close in on her. As Kara tries to escape, she realizes Echo has betrayed her. He's been working for the core all along, and now he wants the key for himself. Echo confronts Kara, demanding she hand over the device. Kara, shocked and betrayed, fights back. She uses the chaos to knock Echo down and escape through a maintenance exit. However, she knows the core will stop at nothing to regain the key, and her fight is far from over. As she disappears into the dark, cold tunnels beneath the city, Kara holds the Elysium key tightly in her hand, knowing that its secrets are about to change next.